What's up, XCW Galaxy? It's the franchise player Chris Jones, and this is XCW Recall.
Welcome back on another episode of Recall. I am your host, Venom. In today's episode, we are talking about Chris Jones versus SyNiKaL, May 14th, 2004. Chris Jones would go on to win his very first singles title, the Power Championship. A title that we have not seen in very many years. We don't know where it may be at now. This match and rivalry would go on to win the Best Rivalry Award at the 15-year all-time award. Sorry about that, guys. Chris Jones would go on to have many other feuds with other people, but Chris Jones versus SyNiKaL is one of his biggest ones, maybe the biggest one ever. You know, let's get on now with Chris Jones and let's watch that.
All right. So first of all, how about this music?
No shirt, no shoes.
Got the chain.
I do have the chain. This song didn't last very long.
So you wrestled for quite a few years before coming to XCW, before doing this. Oh wait, you got your rap first.
Yeah, the terrible battle rap. Thank God it lasted one show. And there would not be another Chris Jones part of a battle rap till the genocide and Patrick O'Reilly had some input in that battle rap for a violent ending. But those were the end of my battle rap days.
So, out of all the years that you've been wrestling to this point, have you ever competed in a rain, like a total rain out like this?
No, I believe this is the first time ever in the rain. Anytime it rained previously in HCW, SBW, BYWE, a little bit in AW, everything was always canceled.
First shot was a whiff.
First shot was a big whiff. We don't whiff much.
Definitely didn't whiff that one. So, right off the bat, this match probably has the most unique weapons ever used. Do you think that using milk cartons and stuff like that, do you think that hindered this match at all?
No, I think it made the match slightly more entertaining than what it would have been. I mean, you do the best with what you have.
It's the little things that hurt, too. So, like SyNiKaL has said throughout his entire XW career, that the milk jug, when you lean back and hit him in the face, is coming up here in a little bit, was one of the worst shots he's ever taken.
It's always the small things. I think for the longest time in my XCW career, the worst weapon shot I ever took was that square box fan screen against Vapor in the match over by Family Dollar. And for the longest time, that was it. And that was just a weird, unique weapon. And same thing with the milk jug. It's the little shit that hurts the most.
Oh, I bet that felt great. So, this is really the first time you've ever competed in the rain. What about the trampoline? I'm sure you've done some wrestling moves on the trampoline other than this before this. But, you competed in all those companies that you spoke of. Did any of those compete on a trampoline?
No, this is the first XCW. The 3 shows we wrestled on the trampoline specifically is the only time we've ever actually wrestled on the trampoline. Everything else was strictly ground wrestling. And it added a different avenue because right before this spot that we're at right now, everything's slick on the trampoline in the rain. SyNiKaL sliding around, tried 3 separate times to get the milk jug, and he finally dove on the milk jug. So it adds a unique aspect to the match for sure.
Would you do another match on a trampoline?
I mean, I'd do one on the trampoline for fun. I wouldn't.
What about trampoline in the rain?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. The rain's what made it so fun there. I would not add that to the show per se, but I would definitely do one for fun. I'm sure SyNiKaL slid around more often because he still had his socks on. I was barefoot.
So, everyone who is a part of this show this day agreed to do it in the rain. Were you in the minority of wanting to do it in the rain, or in the majority of wanting it?
I mean, my memory about that particular situation is very vague, but if I had to think of Chris Jones back in 2004, I would say I was probably a big proponent to wrestle in the rain. Because you fast forward several years later when we were wrestling on North Morristown Road, there was a show that we wrestled. It didn't rain. It rained the last 2 matches. And it was me and Ox Cannon and Hazard and Corey Lee. And we talked about No False. It was agreed between the 4 people that we would do it in the rain to tough out the show and finish it. So if I had to think, I think I was a big proponent to do it in the rain. If anything, I'd say you were probably trying to talk us out of it.
More than likely.
Knowing how smart you were.
Here's... Oh.
Bam! Right in the nose and eye.
Well, SyNiKaL says that was the worst shot of the whole match. On the flip side, what was the worst one you took? And I caught everything.
To be honest, it's hard to say. I think there's a shot where he threw a clipboard, and it might have clipped me in the side, maybe that.
When it hit the side of the fence?
Yeah, I think it slightly clipped me, but we still got a few more weapon shots left.
We also did a spot in this match where I dumped a whole bucket of water on you. I'm sure your uncle was thrilled when you got home.
Oh, yeah. My uncle, my mom, they fucking dropped my fucking wet clothes right there on the doorstep. Soaking, socks ruined, shoes probably ruined, shorts ruined. The good old days.
So, what are your thoughts on literally this being your 3rd show in XCW, and you're winning the Power Championship against SyNiKaL, who arguably next to you is the biggest star in XCW history?
I would say it's a testament to the belief you had personally, knowing how good I had the potential to be back then, because I wasn't well liked by you guys back then. I was just another guy to fill a slot on the roster.
Plus, you guys went from May 7th opening match to May 14th main event.
Yeah, and it's the Power title. I would say it's a testament to the belief you have in new people of potentially how well they can do. And I would say to this day in XCW, as we're recording this, probably the fastest rising star in XCW. From April 16th, debuting in the Power Title Battle Royal, the inaugural match for the Power Title, all the way to winning the World Title at GREE 2004.
So, the chain, why'd that go away?
I think we lost it. We had, obviously the chain's quite big there. And there was one point where I think even to when I wrestled Psycor, and we lost the chain. And then I think you had a maybe it was Colton, your brother, had a little bicycle chain. I think we tried for a show, but it was really small, looked kind of janky. And we went more away from me portraying to look slightly like John Cena. And I believe I started coming to my own as an XCW superstar, developing my own persona, my own thing, the way I wanted to do things in the ring. So the chain was no longer needed.
So how much of this match did you and SyNiKaL talk about before going out? Because obviously back then we just everything was just kind of wing it. But how much of this did you guys plan ahead?
The very ending, that was it. We talked about absolutely none of it. I believe May 7th, which is in my last Recall episode, the ending of the match was a ducked clothesline, super kick, frog splash for the finish. I believe the ending of this match is a duck clothesline, super kick, frog frog splash for a finish. So we didn't talk about it too much.
Then you guys had to bump me, and I'm not just the ref. I'm commentating too. So now, you know how hard it is to call something when you're laying on the ground. You can't see what the hell's going on.
You're a professional, though. You handled it excellently.
SyNiKaL had the match won.
He did. So technically, it's his own tag team partner's fault. He lost the power title, per se.
Now, when this match started, right before, there was a peep show where I presented SyNiKaL with a brand new championship, the foam and plastic title that we used.
Yeah.
Before that was a weightlifting belt. Which belt would you have preferred?
Definitely the plastic belt that I won. The weightlifting belt was really a piece of crap, and it was a placeholder because we were kids. We didn't have money for stuff like that. My titties. Good old titty twister. I believe you slammed the weightlifting belt down several times on the trampoline and threw it. It got stuck on the roof.
Yep. We did get it back. Venom said that he actually had it. That he can't find it. If he could find it, he said he was gonna give it back to us.
Earlier you mentioned the worst weapon shot. It's not actually a weapon shot, but it's the worst shot of the match. SyNiKaL leans up, and I just remember he punches me right in the fucking dick. That is the worst shot of this match. And it hasn't happened yet, but we'll see that shortly. It's funny, within a 3-week period, you almost fired me. And I was angering you in this match too, which leads to the water being dumped on me.
Oh yeah, you threw shit at me.
I was playing my character.
You paid just as much attention to me as you did to him. Good thing SyNiKaL didn't have very good aim.
Yeah, I would be probably dead or quit by then.
Yeah. Reverse, like, it's almost like a dragon whip. You never see SyNiKaL do that again.
No. He probably couldn't, even if he tried.
It's cool that SyNiKaL is the one that did the dive in this match, and I know that you said that you guys didn't really plan it, but in your guys' first encounter on the trampoline, you did the dive.
I did the dive.
And SyNiKaL did the dive in the second match.
It's essentially, it's kind of like a story coming, like it's just the small things people don't realize in a match like that. Like, we didn't plan it, but if you think about it, it's kind of like a small story coming full circle.
So you set yourself up for the water.
I had grass all over me. I was trying to keep your trampoline clean.
I caught that too.
You have a habit of catching random weapons in matches.
Yeah.
I think you throw me in the ring too at some point. It was like I was fighting 2-on-1.
You made it that way.
That weapon just sounded good. It didn't hurt, but it sounded really good.
He literally just took it from you.
Here we go. The infamous shots coming up.
Look, it's the early years of SyNiKaL trying to figure out what his finishing move's going to be.
No idea. So back in May 14th, mine and SyNiKAL's, I'd say probably third meeting, so to speak. I'd say a moment in time at the end of the match of April 16th was a moment in time where we shook hands and stuff like that. Would you have thought that, your best friend and then some guy you met in a previous company would lead to what the Chris Jones-SyNiKAL feud was in XCW?
Oh my God, no. How would we have ever thought? Like,
and some might say it's the feud still goes to this day. Like, I think if you threw Chris Jones and a SyNiKaL and a Fletch in the ring or whatever, it'd be like, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold at that WrestleMania. 3 people get in the ring and they just all cut a promo. Someone fucks up backstage and we make fun of the other person in the ring. It'd be like we never skipped a beat.
Oh, look, I blew a spot.
Like, you can't tell on camera, but it's pouring.
Oh, yeah, it's obviously, I mean, it's 2004. It's an 8mm camera. I mean, it's...
Big fat boy back then.
And you're out.
I was warned. That nut shot's got to be coming up. I don't think anybody's hit me in the balls more than SyNiKaL has in XCW. You put every person I've ever wrestled, you add all them up, nut shots, and SyNiKaL takes the cake.
So, a couple of fun facts about this. You may recall. This was the weekend of St. Joe Festival. And we were all supposed to be there.
I remember that.
And this was also 1 week before the last day of school. The day of the May 21st show was the last day of school.
Yeah. I remember the St. Joe's this weekend. I remember, obviously.
It's so weird that SyNiKaL is such a different person now from then.
Oh, yeah.
The clothesline turned him inside out. He kind of stole one out of your page there, I think.
I think with, I don't even know. Oh, here it is. I think it's weird because you guys were impressed by the flipping clothesline in the April 16th Battle Royal. And I don't know, maybe that's what got me and SyNiKaL put together. Maybe it was because we were the final 2 in the match.
Everything just kind of happened. It was never really like, oh, well, Chris and SyNiKaL are top guys, let's do it.
Just all fell into place. Then it's just so happened down the road, SyNiKaL is in VK2 right now, ultimately me joining MPG and ultimately becoming the leader of MPG.
Obviously, your moveset's changed quite a bit. You're doing some Joker right there.
Yeah, Joker's, a lot of people don't know, but when my very first match, I played there's you throwing me in the ring. I played the Joker persona, and the finisher was the Famouser, which is why
I want to say you told me to throw you back.
Probably did.
So how happy were you when this match was over that we never had to be on this trampoline again? Well, we did one more time.
I think it was kind of like a 50-50 thing. Like, yeah, I was happy because we were moving to like the porch, which was square. No, it wasn't a ring, but it was the closest thing. There it was right there in the dick. It was the closest thing we had to a ring. I mean, obviously we were kids. Like I said before, we couldn't afford a lot of things like that. I missed the acrobatics it allowed me to do. And yeah, you might see me in the ring in the the ends of my career, whatever, doing like maybe the flip over the top rope, the moonsault out of the corner. But it's so much easier on trampoline. I didn't actually have to do it myself. Like the trampoline allowed me to do it. And like if I tried back then, I probably could have done a shooting star, to be honest.
So after sitting down, watched you and SyNiKaL from the Rain show, you recalled it here. This is your first championship win, the Power title. Would you have won it any other way, any other title, any other situation other than this?
I mean, obviously, you want the world title. I mean, if I could have won the world title from SyNiKaL, it'd have been way better. But the situation allowed for a better story coming then when SyNiKaL ultimately defeated me at SummerMania 2 for the world title, which made more sense. But I think for the motivation and you showing the belief in somebody you didn't particularly care for back then, because it's not a secret, you didn't care for me too much back then, but you give people chances whether you like them or not. And I don't think I would have wanted it any other way unless it could have been for the world title against SyNiKaL.
And there it is. Your first XCW championship win ever.
And it was wet, slippery, it was wild.
And SyNiKaL was a trooper in the whole situation too. So
We were pretty wild back then. You know, that probably wouldn't happen these days.
definitely not. No selling a super kick.
And the referee hitting you in the head with the trash can lid.
Any final thoughts?
It is the beginning of an era.
Welcome back, guys. You know, this match that we just watched here, it was one of the few ever trampoline matches that's ever been recorded, and let alone in the pouring rain. That's the type of stuff you don't see around here anymore, but at that time, that was a staple for them. That's all we have for you today, guys. Let's get you on the next episode.